Conor McGregor was at a BKFC press conference earlier today where it was so obvious that he is desperately trying to rehabilitate his image. And not just him, BKFC as a whole, and also David Feldman glazing him at the press conference, which we're going to check out because there's a lot of interesting clips from that press conference. But it's not just David Feldman. It's not just BKFC. It's also Ariel Helwani, who posted an hour documentary on BKFC that was very Conor McGregor heavy, where he refuses to hold Conor McGregor's feet to the fire regarding the Frankie Edgar scam that I've covered extensively on the channel, but also just the overall questioning from Ariel Helwani is absolutely laughable. And it's basically a BKFC fluff piece. We're going to break that down. We're going to check out a bunch of different clips from that documentary as well. But let's jump right into it because this is the thumbnail that Ariel Helwani used for his BKFC documentary that came out. And I'll tell you guys right now, I actually enjoyed the BKFC documentary. I watched all of it earlier today. And while it was kind of a fluff piece, it was interesting to see someone on the ground covering an event in the kind of old YouTube style fashion. That's kind of the vibe. I got like an old YouTube vlog fashion from Ariel's BKFC documentary. But man, the glazing of Conor was just, it made me want to throw up, okay? Because it is very clear that BKFC, Conor McGregor, David Feldman, and Ariel Helwani are all making a concerted effort to help rehabilitate Conor McGregor's image in anticipation of a return to the UFC and a potential BKFC debut, okay? This is the man, okay, they're trying to rehabilitate here, okay? They're trying to elevate in the eyes of the public. You know, hasn't fought in damn near 5 years, been out graping up a storm, assaulting old men, doing a slew of unsavory things. And this is the man they're trying to help rehabilitate. BKFC, at least I understand. Ariel Helwani kind of makes me sick, okay? This is the man right here. This is the man. And what you're going to notice at this press conference is they basically announced that Conor McGregor is in some type of substance abuse program. Conor starts going down the religious route, and then David Feldman really gives like a 20-second, 30-second speech towards the end of the presser, glazing Conor for making changes in his life. But it wouldn't be a Conor McGregor press conference without Conor McGregor showing up late for the presser. So let's check out the partial owner of BKFC showing up 10, 15 minutes late to his own press conference.
Continues in the global growth that we've had for BKFC. And let's give it up for Il Grande Capo.
By the way, let's make no mistake about it. Conor McGregor to David Feldman is nothing more than a meal ticket. Okay, let's be very clear about that. Anyway, let's skip ahead because he brings Conor McGregor up. And I want you guys to just take a look at Conor McGregor. He does look different here. I do think he might be sober for a couple days. I got to be honest. I do think Conor might be sober for a couple days, maybe even a week here. It's very clear to me
That it can possibly be, we're going to take over Rome on Saturday night. And as I said earlier, let me bring up my business partner, the notorious Il Grande Capo.
That's Italian, Dave, right? That's Italian, Il Grande Capo. That's the big boss. That's the big boss. In the house, baby. In the flesh. Benvenuti guerrieri! Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for our gladiator family here in Bare Knuckle. Please, for our people, if you can make some noise, raise the roof.
Look, if that isn't clearly a sober Conor, I don't know what is. I mean, who knows? It might be a couple days. It might be a couple weeks until you see him on camera doing some ridiculous stuff, intoxicated again. But it's very clear, in my opinion, that he is sober at this press conference, and we haven't seen a sober Conor McGregor in what seems like years. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but what seems like years. And then Conor McGregor hints at it in one of the dumbest questions I've ever heard in my entire life. I forgot the exact way this guy words it, but I left it in here in the clip. Conor McGregor starts like pushing, you know, a certain narrative about himself. He's like, look, I've been saved now. I've been saved. And it's just very clear what he's trying to do here.
And this promotion also feel very honest, raw, and pure. Do you feel that
this promotion feels really honest, pure, real and pure? They scammed Frankie Edgar recently, you bum. You bald-headed bum. I don't know who this guy is. But stupidest question I've ever heard in my entire life, and glazing the organization while he does it.
there is a connection between your journey and the spirit of BKFC in some
A connection between your journey and the spirit of BKFC. What a dumb question, man. Somebody slap this dude, okay? Not really, though.
way.
For sure, for sure. I am not here just by chance. There is a higher power, God, that dictates my journey and all of our journeys. And I live my life by God's word. And since around that time that you mentioned at the last event,
he lives his life by God's word. Man, there's so much I want to say right now. There's so much I want to say, but we'll just go to this. We'll just go to this. We don't need to get shadow banned, okay? We'll just go to this. We'll just go to this. He lives himself by God's word. By the way, just to break this down. So Conor looks sober. Conor's kind of pushing the religious grift here. Is this a wedding ring he's got on too? Maybe I'm mistaken. I think something happened. Conor hit rock bottom. Honestly, when I first heard this, I said, you know what? I'm waiting for the next charge to drop. There is another charge coming soon. But it's very clear somebody partially got through to him and said, look, Conor, we need to rehabilitate your image. You need to get your shit together. Otherwise, your career is gone for good. It's going to be gone soon. You're damn near 40 years old. It's going to be all over soon. Maybe something happened with his wife. Maybe he's out graping up a storm again when she's 9 months pregnant. I don't know. But Conor is clearly a changed Conor. I'm not saying permanently, but to be honest, I think this is all kind of a ruse. It's fake. But this is clearly a different Conor than we've seen publicly for a while. And we'll continue. There's more to this.
I've engaged on a spiritual journey. And I'm saved. I am healed. And, you know, on the back of that,
this is like a drug addict who's robbed, beaten, stole from their family, scammed their family. And then finally when they hit rock bottom and everyone's turned on them and everyone's turned away from them, they go and get help and they're like, I'm saved. I'm a saved man. I'm healed. I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm good. And then it's the way they try to get their family and friends to come back to them. I've seen this before, okay? I know exactly what this is. And it's also a partial grift to try to help rehabilitate that image. Oh, look, I'm a spiritual man. I've been saved. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay? I wasn't just out graping up a storm the other day. Let's continue.
On the back of that, the world is in for a treat. The world is in for a treat. My competitive spark that was once in my heart is now a roaring blaze. So I'm very excited. You know, I envy these men up here on this dais. They're right about to make weight, and they're to go in and enjoy and entertain and do what they were called to do, as am I called to do it. And, you know, I'm eager to get back. And right now I had to dial myself in and go inward. And that I done.
It would not shock me if the UFC said, look, Conor, if you want to be on this White House card, you got to get clean and get clean now. You got to prove to us that you're not doing coke and getting drunk every week before we can ever even think about putting you on the White House card, which we probably won't announce for 3 to 5 months from now. So you have about half a year to get your shit together. That's what this seems like to me. It could be something else, but that's what it seems like to me.
And I'm very, very excited to come back my own self. And as far as, you know, BKFC is a family. We are a family here. We are all very, very passionate about this company and about this sport. And
So there you go. We're all a family here. Next clip I want to show you. He's asked about his legacy. And he drops other hints, okay? He drops other hints here.
I would like to leave a legacy that can be looked upon as, a lesson. You've seen with me what works. I showed what works. And also, I showed what doesn't work. And now I'm in a stage where I come back and show again what I'm about. So I would look to show as my career as a lesson for people to study and to go on and entertain the world as I have done and secure their family's future. And that's it. That's my goal here. And it's always great here in Italy. I spent the entire summer here, and as you said, we were in Napoli, and the people of Napoli were very, very...
So there you go. I could be a lesson. Okay, I can be an example of what to do and what not to do. He's excited to come back himself. I can already hear Ariel huddling together with David Feldman and Conor and saying, listen, it doesn't matter what Conor did, okay? It doesn't matter that he was found civilly liable of sexual assault. Everybody loves a good comeback story. I can hear Ariel saying it right now. I can hear it in my ears. And I think that is truly the narrative that they are going to try to sell. But they all have to do their parts. Conor has to stay out of trouble and act like a normal, rational human being. And Ariel will go on a show and he will sell Conor. This is new Conor, man. This is Conor 2.0, brother. Conor's taking this seriously, finally. And I think it's supposed to benefit everyone. Because at the end of the day, Conor benefits. His image gets help. Ariel makes money off of it. That's why the media has put up with Conor for as long as they have. Because he directly puts money in their pockets. Really indirectly, but basically directly. They want Conor, no matter how many times he grapes up a storm, no matter how many times he beats up senior citizens in bars, no matter how many times he does unsavory things, because Conor is good for business. And all these fucking clowns, all they care about is money, whether it be Feldman or Ariel or Dana White. It's just the truth. MMA fighting, whoever it may be. It's just the truth. All they care about is what's good for business. They don't care about anything else. They are essentially, the majority of the media is glorified publicists for these organizations. And you'll see that in a second with Ariel Helwani. The last thing I want to show you from the press conference, I mean, this is embarrassing from David Feldman. And this is out of nowhere, by the way. It's not like he was asked this. He's asked something else about BKFC. And he basically goes out of his way, in my opinion, to essentially congratulate Conor McGregor on his sobriety. You guys tell me. Am I reading this all wrong? You guys tell me.
The Coliseum today was just truly, really unbelievable. An iconic moment for BKFC. And it's another page that we're turning towards the chapter of Italy and the book of dominating combat sports. And that's what we're going to do here. I just want to say one more thing. Listen, guys. On a side note, it's got nothing to do with this fight.
Randomly out of nowhere. On a side note, that's why I left that in there for context. He just out of nowhere said this. Everyone's like, what the fuck's he going to say?
A lot of people in the world need to make changes in their life, and they don't. Because they don't have the guts to, they don't have the balls to, they don't have the fortitude to. And I just want to take this time to take my hat off and commend Conor McGregor for making the kind of change that he had to make. It's not easy. And you're going to see the best Conor McGregor you've ever seen when he returns to the octagon.
Thank you, brother.
Look, if I ever seen a relapse coming, I hope it doesn't. But that was clearly like a congratulations on getting the help that you needed to get off maybe just alcohol, most likely coke and alcohol, and whatever other substances he's abusing. That's clearly what it was from David Feldman there. Congratulations to Conor. Probably 3 days sober. Probably only 3 days. So I can see it in Conor's eyes. I truly can. That this is the Conor McGregor. They're kind of getting together. Conor, we're going to make this push now, man. You got to keep it together. Please, Conor. It's what's best for business. You got to keep it together, Conor. We're eventually going to bring you over to BKFC, Conor. And it's just David Feldman giving him a pat on the back and basically saying congratulations on the recent sobriety. Now, the other thing I want to check out is we have the BKFC documentary from Ariel Helwani. What to say about this? So first off, I need to say overall, I actually enjoyed watching this. I skimmed through, I really watched the entire thing and then I skimmed through for the best clips. And I actually enjoyed this type of coverage. But let's be real, it was a fluff piece for BKFC. And the way he interacted with Conor McGregor was humiliating, man. I thought it seemed like, I don't even know if I get demonetized. It seemed like Ariel wanted Conor to drop his trousers. And you'll see that in a minute. But I need you guys to understand, I did 2 videos. I will link them down in the description. I don't want to waste any more of your time. BKFC scammed Frankie Edgar recently. They brutally scammed him, okay? Ariel Helwani essentially has covered it up. And then he's dropped a fluff piece about BKFC to promote them. And then he has an opportunity to talk to Conor about it. And the way they interact and the questions that he asks Conor McGregor is absolutely humiliating as a journalist that Ariel Helwani claims to be. Okay? But just to prove to you that this is a fluff piece, this is what's in the documentary. By the way, I love the behind the scenes look. I will link this documentary down in the description. I encourage you guys to go check it out. But listen to this.
Second biggest show we've ever done in the company history. And that means I'm going to give you guys the highest bonuses I've ever given. Yeah. Please take my money. Let me bonus you. Fight your fucking asses off tonight. It's so important. This is a big statement for us tonight in New Jersey. We have a lot of very important people in the crowd. I just need you guys to fight your asses off. I need you guys to respect your opponent, to respect the officials, and to respect the fans. And if you don't, you never come back. And if you do, you'll be here for a long time with us. I need you guys, again, last time I'm going to say it, fight your fucking asses off tonight. Fight your asses off. Give it all you got. Go home with extra money. Please take that money. Go home with extra money.
Where'd that extra money come from, David? Frankie Edgar's purse that you took away from him for no reason and you lied about? Maybe that's it. But either way, you see what this documentary is. It's a behind the scenes look, but it's really meant to make BKFC look good. Okay, next clip we're going to take a look at. Remember Ariel, or not Ariel, remember Conor? We're all a family around here. They're definitely not on the same, they're not pushing the same narrative, are they, right? They're definitely not. Let's listen to Ariel.
The atmosphere in here is unbelievable. It's not even close to full. They just had a guy warming up the crowd, like almost like someone that warms up a crowd before a comedy show. I've never quite seen that before. And now they just did a countdown and all the fans are going, "Rrr." It's like a mix between, for me, it feels like a mix between an indie pro wrestling show and an MMA event. All the employees feel so strongly about it. You can all see them pulling the company as high as it could go. They're not quite where they want to be, obviously, but they've come a long way. And so you can really feel a sense of camaraderie, a sense of unity among everyone who works. They really want this to succeed. And, you know, I know it's cliche, but it does feel like a family.
Oh my God. That makes me sick, man. That really makes, he's basically just pushing the same talking points. And Ariel at this point in time basically knows that they scammed Frankie Edgar. He basically knows that. He asked Conor McGregor 2 questions about that. Really only showed one question because there was a clip there. They edited something out. But you'll see that in a second. Anyway, next thing is when it really starts to get Conor McGregor heavy. You'll see that sensationalism of Conor McGregor. I'll show you guys the walkout real quick. Here's Conor McGregor. I mean, this dude, I got to be honest. I know everyone's like, Conor's so rich. He's so famous, man. The double champ. He's got so much. Conor's pathetic, man. He's the definition at this point of Uncle Rico. Coach would have put me in 4th quarter. We would have been state champions. He's still parading around like he's the double champ when he was babied up the ranks in the UFC and gifted title shot after title shot, essentially. Okay, really the lightweight title shot, not the 45 title shot, but he had an easy road there. And dude is out, breaking every law known to man, getting away with it. And then he's still living in the past. It's just pathetic in my opinion, but we'll show his entrance here. My guess is he wasn't even sober here. This was like beginning of October. He was not sober at this point. So there you see the entrance. Now the next clip I'm going to show you is Ariel finally sitting down with Conor McGregor. Ariel sitting down with old Conor here, okay? And he's definitely going to ask him a really hard question, right? And I understand maybe this isn't the time or place for hard questions, but he's going to at least ask him something of substance, right? He's going to ask him something good, right? You guys aren't going to believe this. Listen to this.
You're not good.
You like this? You like being the man?
I've been the man since day one, baby.
Who's the better promoter, you or Dana?
You like being the man? And then just laughing up a storm with him. Who's a better promoter, you or Dana? Now, I get it. Okay, he's got to break the ice somehow, so we'll let him slide. You like being the man? This is supposed to be a journalist, man. This is really supposed to be a journalist. We'll let it play. I mean, look at this. Look. This is a man right here. I swear he wants Conor to unzip his trousers. Just take the trousers off. Just take them off. That's what the vibes I'm getting here.
Yeah, I do my thing. I'm from the school of the Fertitta Empire. You know, I was the protege of Mr. Fertitta and Mr. White. So the lads done me great.
So there you go. Next clip we're going to jump ahead to is actually a decent question. Are you going to fight in BKFC? Will you compete in BKFC? And it's actually an interesting answer from Conor McGregor here. Listen to this.
Before it's all said and done, you really do believe you'll do this? You'll fight in it?
I'm definitely. I'm doing up on them days saying all this. I'm doing this. I am doing this. I'm the owner. I might make it a bit favourable. You know, I'll pluck a cherry from a little cherry.
Look at this. Am I being? You guys need to let me know if I'm being over dramatic. Watch this head nod here. Let me actually break this down real quick. Hold on. Oh no! All right, let's break this down in slow mo. Okay, playback speed. This is impromptu right here. Watch Ariel's head. Watch his head bob here.
Yes, I'm the owner. I might make it a bit favourable. You know, I'll pluck a cherry from a little cherry you'll take. Yeah.
Look at that head bob. Look at that head. Oh my God. But by the way, have I not told you guys Conor will eventually go to BKFC for years now and just book himself in favorable matchups, therefore helping to extend his legacy while also helping build a company that he is a stake owner in? It's just hilarious here. And Conor kind of makes it out to be a joke and Ariel's laughing. I'm dead serious. Conor will do that. He will give himself squash matches to essentially build up BKFC as a company, but also he can feel like he's fighting again, essentially being Uncle Rico. He's Uncle Rico. Conor and BKFC essentially fighting scrubs is like Uncle Rico in the field throwing the footballs at the camera. Anyway, let's continue.
185, 145, and I'm 185 on the scales. Proper Vince McMahon, yeah?
So there you go. There you go. He's going to weigh in at 145, and he's actually going to be 185. Okay. Next clip I'm going to show you. This is just... I'm just trying to show you guys what I've been covering in the last few videos about BKFC. It's Ariel clearly running cover for Conor McGregor because he looks at Conor as a friend.
From MMA. It's too gruesome. There's no protection. What do you say?
Bro a set, baby. Grab that bro a set, yeah? Walk with your balls, yeah? That's how you do the Billy walk. Walk with your balls, man.
Imagine... Let me jump back a little bit. Imagine looking like this at a man who was found civilly liable of rape, a brutal one at that. And you were sitting there laughing up a storm, chopping it up. Like, oh my God, you're so funny, man. You're so funny, Conor. It honestly just makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me sick to my stomach. And then he finally gets to the Frankie Edgar portion. I'm just going to let this clip play through because he actually cuts off the original question. I don't know why he does that. And then you'll hear Conor's answer, and then you'll hear a follow-up question from Ariel. He really grills him about them literally scamming Frankie Edgar out of money.
Walk with your balls, baby. Facially, you get nasty for sure, and it can be nasty, like anything. But now, this is real. This is real fighting. This is real fighting. For me personally, Frankie would have been well able for this. It was the BKFC doctors that done it overall and partnered with the commission. Safety is paramount. At this juncture, we want to be correct, you know? You've got to be, safety is paramount.
Okay, because I'll tell you, when he said on my show about the safety, some people were hitting me up refuting what he said. So that's why I wanted to...
Frankie was refuting it.
People close to him.
Yeah, people close to him.
Saying it was a ticket thing.
Some people close to the fighter themselves can have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
And that can be sad sometimes. Frankie's a grown man. Listen,
Yeah, that's all he has to say. That's all he has to say. Yeah. Essentially, Conor saying, well, people close to Frankie wanted the money that Frankie was going to get paid. Well, what benefit would Frankie have for coming out and saying BKFC is lying? The commission, I've talked to the commission, all my medicals were cleared through the commission. What incentive does Frankie have to lie about that now that the event's already over? He's not getting on the event. Tell me. But Ariel says, yeah. By the way, you withheld this information for weeks. Let's continue.
There's something here for Frankie for sure. He's an absolute legend in the sport, in fighting. And he's huge in New Jersey, and we have a big base in New Jersey. We're going to do something with Frankie. I'd love it. I'd love to get him a chance to compete. He could probably compete against this guy, Mason.
Yeah, so 2 yes from Ariel. By the way, how does Ariel not think, maybe I'm just a genius. Maybe I could just think on the fly. But how does Ariel not say, well, if he didn't pass his medicals to fight on this card, what makes you think he's going to pass his medicals to fight on another card against this random bum you plucked off the street to replace him at 1% of Frankie's original guaranteed purse from you guys? How would he pass that? Considering you said it was the BKFC doctors, and they essentially came out and said, oh, what was his age? He'd been knocked out a bunch of times, his inactivity, all things they knew when they originally signed Frankie Edgar. And all Ariel has to say is, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's embarrassing, man. I get it. It's a documentary. He's got a few minutes with Conor. Like, he couldn't push back a little bit. Like, again, people say, Ariel's the face of journalism, man. He does such a good job. No, he doesn't. He does sometimes. I think he does the best interviews, matter of fact. But when he's friends with these guys, just all objectivity goes out the window. It's just like, oh, you can say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to push back. And then he calls on bums like that jiu-jitsu fraud whose name I'm not even going to say. And he grills them and everyone's like, hell yeah, Ariel. Hell yeah, Ariel. Get him, Ariel. And I've defended Ariel on multiple occasions, so people don't say I'm an Ariel Helwani hater. But it's really pathetic and it's embarrassing. And I know a lot of people didn't want to see Frankie fight, myself included. But that doesn't change the reality of the situation. BKFC is lying. And they scammed Frankie out of money. And then Ariel has nothing to say about it on his show. A couple seconds. Never covered it on his website. Never had a dedicated video on it. Never spent more than a minute talking about it. And then he buries this information to plug his documentary. And then when we get here, all he has to say back to Conor. When Conor says, oh, well, the people close to Frankie are lying for their ulterior motives. He just says, yeah. And he says, oh, he can fight this guy maybe. Yeah. Ariel only cares about Conor to the extent that Conor can help him put money in his pocket. That is the reality of MMA media as a whole. It's embarrassing, it's pathetic, and it's annoying. It's honestly annoying. The last clip I want to show you, just because it makes sense to cover this as well, he's asked about his return. By the way, look, Ariel, like a kid on Christmas next to Conor McGregor. But he asked him about his return. Will it be at the White House? Will it be BKFC? You did say that you signed. It's signed, sealed, delivered. He said it on Fox News. And then Conor already starts to backtrack on that, by the way.
Down. But the night goes on.
So a big BKFC main event for you or White House? What would you prefer? What would mean more to you?
I'm coming back with the White House.
Yeah?
You know, I'm having fun with all this, but I'm under no illusion. And I'm building up the guys, getting the fighters raised up, getting the profile raised up, doing what I'm here for. But my comeback from mixed martial arts is paramount for me.
Yeah, and is it Chandler?
I'd love it to be Chandler, just to get
signed.
Yeah, no, I say, yeah, you know, it is signed.
So look, did you see that reaction? Ariel knows that he's lying. Now, I don't blame Ariel for not. What are you going to say? Well, you just lied. You clearly just lied. But you could clearly tell here. when he calls him out. Oh, you signed. You said you signed. And I have a new theory on Conor McGregor that I'm probably going to break down in another video, but I'll kind of describe it here in a minute. But let's watch that again.
But my comeback from mixed martial arts is paramount for me.
Yeah, is it Chandler?
I'd love it to be Chandler, just
They
to get.
get signed.
Yeah, now I say, yeah, you know, it is signed.
So it's a verbal side. And what did they say about the 100 million?
Something good is coming, was what they've said.
You know, I thought it was really nice of you
So there you go. And then he gets in a dig at Dylan Dennis. I'll just let it play.
to bring the less fortunate here with you. I saw you brought Dylan. Very nice.
So there you go. And a dig at Dylan Dennis. I believe Conor, and I've said this for a while as well, but it's kind of, I haven't really broke this down. This hasn't been a main talking point. I believe Conor wants to come back one time for the UFC. I don't know if it's actually going to happen because I do believe there is a sunset clause in his contract, which means essentially he gets out of his contract after a certain period of time. But I believe Conor's hoping for one last fight in the UFC, a layup, so then he can go out there, help get his name back in the headlines. He's right now trying to rehabilitate his image. He could potentially go out there, get a finish. He's calling for Chandler. Chandler's a dead body. Chandler's as much of a dead body as Conor at this point. I would favor Conor to win, regardless of cocaine and alcohol abuse. He wants to use that, a massive stage of the UFC potential White House event against a bummy opponent, come back, get a win, and then his name is back elevated again. Right now, he's damaged goods. Regardless of, you can say he's one of the biggest stars still in the sport. He's damaged goods. Then he's going to ride off in the sunset and fight for BKFC. And what's going to get very, very interesting is Dana White and the UFC knows this. So they're going to want to, they don't need Conor, but they don't want anyone else to have him. So I'm very curious what goes down, because what I'm thinking now, and I've just started thinking about this earlier today, is it wouldn't shock me if the UFC offers Conor a more difficult opponent than Michael Chandler. Don't be surprised if next thing you know, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira is announced. Don't be surprised if next thing you know, Charles Oliveira or Conor McGregor is fighting someone ranked in the top 5 and not Michael Chandler. Because if Conor refused to sign an extension and they believe Conor is leaving, they don't want Conor to prop up another business by fighting for them, especially on the way out the door off a layup win. It's no different than what the UFC tried to do with Nate Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev. I hope that makes sense. And that's something I may cover in a future video, may do a whole entire dedicated video on that. But what I saw from this documentary, I actually enjoyed. It's just sad that Ariel is basically a Conor McGregor propagandist. He's a glorified publicist. He's buddy-buddy with him and David Feldman. And he essentially helps cover for them and sweep this massive controversy under the rug. It really is sad. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Am I being over dramatic? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.